When I think about the future of the mainline Resident Evil entries, RE9 and wherever we go from there, I think about change. Resident Evil has existed in many forms: slow-paced classic survival horror, exciting adventures being followed by an unkillable stalker, over-the-top action shooters and bombastic Hollywood movie moments, creepy first-person horror survival stories, Village. Where do you go from here? How do you keep things fresh? That's what's been on my mind since the RE4 remake. I think RE4 Remake is excellent, but after 3 remakes that all basically play the same, speaking of the controls and camera, I have a hard time getting excited for what's next. Are we just gonna continue the first-person style and remake RE5 and 6 and make them play like the other remakes? Is there room to shake things up? A couple months ago, I put out a video detailing my ideas for the return to a classic fixed or angular camera Resident Evil in the style of something like Tormented Souls. Something mid-budget on the side, something that could be developed by a smaller team, because I believe there's a sizable audience that would be interested in it. But that's certainly not the direction the main series can take. I suspect we'll continue with the first-person and over-the-shoulder presentations, but something I played recently gave me an idea for how to freshen things up in the gameplay department. I played Amnesia the Bunker. I'm not an Amnesia fan. I played a few hours of the first one, I thought it was kinda cool, but for one reason or another I never came back to it, and I skipped the sequels. But I played the Bunker, and the Bunker leans heavily into survival horror. Strict inventory management, exploration and backtracking, puzzle-like mission designs at times, limited resources, it's got a punishing death system because of there only being one central save area. I was so incredibly impressed by how solid and tense of an experience the Bunker was. And there's one aspect in particular that I can't get out of my head, and that's the immersive sim side of the gameplay. Not everyone knows the immersive sim genre. Hell, I spent most of my gaming years not even hearing the term. While I am familiar with Deus Ex, my first real dive into an immersive sim was Prey from 2017. These are games that emphasize choice and creative solutions. The ability to confront enemies head-on with your weapons, or use stealth to avoid combat entirely. Or maybe you can hack a security turret, deploy it at the end of the room to kill or at least distract enemies. When you come across a locked door, you could go find the key or a passcode, but there may be another way in. Using a hacking skill unlocked in the progression system, finding a vent you can crawl through or drop down from an opening above. In some immersive sims, you can use environmental traps to take out bad guys, or trick them into somehow killing each other. Maybe you can trick an enemy into opening a door for you. Immersive sims reward creative solutions. A lot of the fun comes from discovering that what occurs to you is actually possible. And as I was playing the Bunker, I couldn't believe that I'd never seen this kind of game design applied to a hardcore survival horror experience. When you find a locked door in the Bunker, there's usually more than one way in. If it's a wooden door, you can use a grenade to blow it up. But if you don't have one, maybe there's an explosive barrel around here you can drag over and shoot. It may be a long haul to drag it across the map, but you can do it. Carefully, because the monster will hear you. If you find a brick, you can use it to break the door down. If there's a padlock, you can shoot it or break it with the brick. If you have the explosive barrel to blow up a door but no bullets, pour gas on it and light it up with your lighter. If you haven't found the lighter, maybe you have a flare. Some areas have access points that can be opened by a wrench or bolt cutters. And all these options lead to players having very different experiences. No one plays the same way, especially since the location of many useful items is randomized. Under pressure from the monster, your plan may go very poorly, and you'll be forced to rethink your solution. But it's not just opening doors. Dealing with the monster and the rats leads to a lot more creativity and emergent gameplay moments. Sure, an obvious method of driving the monster away is to shoot him, but when you only have 3 bullets, that might not be a good idea. Try using a gas grenade to block his path. Light a fire right in front of you and he won't be able to pass. If you think he's about to spawn near you, toss a brick or a grenade to the other side of the room and he'll be attracted to the noise over there. Booby traps are all around the map, and while you do want to avoid them, you can intentionally trigger them as a defense against the monster as he's pursuing you. Or as you're running away, triggering a trap can cause a sound that makes the monster think you're there when you've already escaped. Rats can be distracted with pieces of meat. They can be chased away by flares, killed with explosives, bullets, fires, chased away with a torch. There's just so much to think about, and there's so many moments of improvisation. Bundling these excellent immersive sim elements with a solid survival horror stalker game struck me as brilliant, revolutionary. It makes me want more from my favorite genre. It makes me look at a new survival horror game like Signalis and say, wow, I would have loved Signalis even more if it had some of these elements. It makes me want to be able to do this in Resident Evil. Now, I'm not saying Resident Evil needs to be the bunker. Resident Evil can be Resident Evil, but there's definitely room to incorporate these ideas. We've already seen the series tease player choice before. RE3 had occasional environmental traps to kill zombies or defend yourself from the nemesis. The RE1 remake introduced the Crimson Head mechanic, where you could use gas and a lighter to prevent a zombie from mutating into a more dangerous threat, but you had to carefully choose who to burn because you had a limited amount of gas. RE2 Remake has great moments of optional stealth for dealing with lickers because they're blind. There's a flash grenade to avoid having to spend bullets on zombies. What if we pushed it further? What if there was a way to get a dog to run into a pack of zombies and attack them for you? What if there were multiple ways to enter locked areas? What if there were items that had several different kinds of uses? Like a first aid spray will obviously heal you, but what if you could throw it and shoot it to create a mist that makes you hard to see for a while? Like the bunker, frag grenades could be an alternate way to enter locked off areas. Just recently in the Dead Space remake, there was a part where you had to notice that you can shoot through the window to break the security lock to gain entrance to an optional room. I think this stuff would feel right at home in a new Resident Evil game. I'm sure of it because we already started seeing some of this in the RE4 remake. When replaying the game, you don't have to wait for the opening village fight to end. You can actually target the church bell with the rifle and trigger the end yourself. In the second area, there's a barn that's locked from the inside. You gotta go all the way around, climb the ladder, walk across, and go in through the window upstairs. But I remember the first time I played, I noticed that I could see the lock from the outside. I aimed the pistol at the lock and shot it off, and now I was in the back way. Later, I saw other players using a grenade to do the same thing from the other side. The Salazar statue section has you dodging fire, but you may notice the spot on his back where you can shoot to blow it up. The bolt thrower provides a way to spin Ganados around for a knife kill instead of using firearms. So yeah, we've already seen creative solutions and immersive sim influence to some degree. I can see it going further. The bunker showed me just how engaging and refreshing it is to add this kind of experimentation to the survival horror gameplay style, and I hope someone at Capcom is taking notes. I think this could very well be the future of the genre, or at least it should be. That's all I have to say on the topic, just a short expression of a topic I've been thinking about. Thanks for watching, everyone.